working system, it was great. They go, they stay their term, they come back, and if we like what they've done in their time in that position of power, we re-elect them. And then if they do bad, we unelect them. Now, we've fallen into this idea that the longer a senator, congressman, or president has been there, the better they'll be. Well, that is not always the case. And as we've seen over the last few decades, America has been getting progressively corrupter and having more problems. So what I would recommend is that we, as people who share common ideals, rally together and we fight at the election booth. We don't start at the presidency. The third parties that have tried that, they may have one or two senators who get elected, but in the long run, they fail. You have to start with the people. You have to find people who agree with you, who you can work with, who will work with you. You have to start a movement.
Sir, I love what you're saying, and I love how you talk about unity. Don't you think that fighting against each other regarding politics, instead of bringing us together, is going to divide us more? Don't you think we're all Americans instead of part of a political party? Don't you think instead of fighting each other, we should come into an agreement and concentrate on foreign enemies instead of our own country? Because as Abraham Lincoln said, we will fall from within if we divide, right? So don't you think it's better if we come to an agreement instead of fighting against each other?
We invited Chris as a kickoff on American heritage and patriotism. These are great thoughts, but this is not our forum for that. Right now, we're in a mode of overview to get you guys into what's going on as far as what we're trying to achieve in terms of your awareness of American heritage and patriotism, leadership, and free enterprise. One of the things that wasn't said about Chris before he got up is that this young man graduated from high school last year. He participated in the American Legion's patriotic oratorical contest, and he won it, the area contest. He won it 2 or 3 different divisions and went forward from that. And so what we wanted to do with Chris's presentation, is to introduce the subject, to bring our focus into American heritage and patriotism, but also to let each one of you know that there are opportunities out there that are going without your acting upon them. Chris, what incentive did you have? How did you find out about the American Legion's oratorical contest, and how can these future leaders also get involved in something like that?
I'd be happy to tell you guys, and I would love to talk to you after tonight. There, if I will definitely answer that, but I'm gonna move on right now. So talk to me afterwards, okay? All right. I've got to go back a little further to when I was a sophomore in high school. So when I was a sophomore, I was definitely afraid of public speaking, and I didn't have much confidence in my ability to write a well-worded essay. My English teacher was a big influence, as well as my parents. They pushed me and encouraged me to participate in this. It was for scholarship money that I desperately needed. Still do. But I wasn't going to do it. But the night before the deadline, 7 a.m. was, at 2 a.m., I sat down. I thought, what have I got to lose? So I wrote a quick essay. Now don't think I was. I wrote. I sat. I worked all night long, and then just before the deadline, I hit submit. A few weeks later, no, about a month actually, I found I placed second at the local level. Second. For the whole night's of hard work. I thought to myself, if I can do that with that little time to prepare that I put on myself, what could I do if I gave it my all? My absolute best. So the next essay competition that rolled around, I was all over it. It was with the Merchant Marines. I placed first in the local and third at the next tier. And that was when I found out about the American Legion oratorical competition. Somehow, one of the people there, George, Mr. George. I can't remember the full name, but he approached me and said, "Would you like to participate in this?" And I said, "Yes." I wrote my speech, and the speech you hear now is the culmination of about 2 years of work. I went and gave the first version of the speech and presented it to the American Legion. They liked it. I got placed by the judges as first in the local. At the second tier, I made third place, and then it just kept going from there. One thing led to another, and I was invited to go to Boise State by the American Legion, which afforded me amazing opportunities. Partial scholarship for early college, something I had not thought about being able to do besides local college. From there, I found out that I could participate once more in the American Legion competition, so I went with it. I spent months preparing the speech, improving